So, welcome to our class, our final class on suprasegmental phonology. And so far, we have seen word stress, sentence stress, and intonation. And today, for this final class, we're going to look at some other features of connected speech. So, what I'm going to show you today are things that may happen, that might happen in rapid, casual, everyday speech. Okay, this is not something that learners need to produce, but it's something that is useful for learners to be aware of, especially for perception. Okay, so this class, what you need to take from it is that those things that I'm going to show, they might happen. Some of them might happen more in certain dialects of English than in others, but they are things that might happen, and you gotta be aware so that this helps with perception. Okay, but in production, it's up to you. You decide if you feel incorporating some of these things to your pronunciation will improve your intelligibility or not. Okay. So here we go. So the very first feature we're going to talk about is assimilation. Okay, and there are different types or different places where assimilation might occur. And just the word assimilation, so that it makes sense to you, is when a sound borrows a characteristic from a neighboring sound. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to begin showing examples of t, d, and n. So if you pay attention, they are all alveolar consonants, not all the alveolar consonants, but three alveolar consonants, t, d, and n. And they will become bilabial, so they will become p, b, and m when they come before any of these three bilabial consonants, p, b, and m. Let's look at some examples because it's going to make more sense, okay? So in the first phrase there, you have the word fat, okay, that you pronounce with t at the end, fat, and then boy, all right? So you end this word with one of the sounds, t. And the following word begins with one of those, right? Which are all bilabial. What is going to happen? This t is going to borrow the place of articulation from this sound. So the t will borrow the bilabial characteristic of this sound. What is a bilabial t? It's a p, all right? So pronouncing this little phrase here in connected casual speech, it might be pronounced as fat boy. Fat boy. It's not really a full p, yeah, not fat boy, but you close your lips at the end of fat. So instead of doing t, you close your lips, but you don't do the burst. You don't explode this plosive. From closing your lips here, you go straight into boy, and you end up pronouncing it fat boy. Fat boy. Let's look at good morning. Okay, so the final sound is one of those three. The next one is bilabial. So the d will borrow the bilabial place of articulation from m. What is a bilabial d? It's b. So good morning in connected speech might be pronounced as good morning. Good morning. It's not really a full b again. There is no burst. Yeah, you don't say good morning, but you close your lips here, anticipating the bilabial position for m, and you end up saying good morning. Good morning. Pen, pal, the same. Okay, so n will borrow the bilabial place of articulation from p, and will become m. So pen pal, pen pal. You touch your lips here, okay? Pen pal, pen pal. In March, the same thing. Instead of going in March, the n will borrow the bilabial place of articulation from m, and you end up saying in March, in March. Just one m, right? In March. This might happen inside a compound word, all right? So mad, man, the d might borrow the bilabial place of articulation from m, and you end up closing your lips here, doing madman, madman. And the same for Batman, Batman. Instead of Batman in connected speech, it's common to be pronounced as Batman. Okay, the T will borrow the bilabial place of articulation from M. Okay, so this is the first case of assimilation. Another one, a second one, is when you have the same sounds as before, T, D, and N, but they come before a velar sound, K, G, or Ng, and they will also become velar. Okay, so gate, crash, the T will borrow the velar place of articulation from K, and then it might be pronounced as gate crash, gate crash. Pain, killer, the N might borrow the velar place of articulation from K, and you end up saying painkiller, painkiller. Same thing for kid, gloves, the D might borrow the velar place of articulation from G, and you end up saying kid gloves. Instead of kid gloves, kid gloves, kid gloves. The same for that girl, that girl. That boy will become P, right? That boy. And that girl will become K. That girl, because G is velar. And the same thing for good concert. Good boy will become B, yeah? Good boy. And good concert will become G. Good concert, good concert. Another common assimilation is S and Z assimilating to sh before sh or y. So you have these two alveolar fricatives. When it's before this palatal or post-alveolar fricative or this palatal approximant, it will become palatal as well, or post-alveolar. Okay, so this shiny ring might be pronounced as this shiny ring, this shiny ring. His shirt might be pronounced his shirt. News, news. Sheet might be pronounced news sheet. And this year might be pronounced this year, this year. The same might happen with the voiced palatal fricative or approximant, and might make S or Z become post-alveolar or palatal J. So does your, in this case, does your mother, might be pronounced as does your mother. And this genre might be pronounced as this genre. Okay? Another typical assimilation is T plus Y becoming Ch. So last year might be pronounced last year. Didn't you might be pronounced didn't you. Or we're going to see later that this you might become Y, a schwa, so didn't you. Okay? And similarly, D plus Y might become J. So would you might be pronounced as would you. And then later we're going to see this you might become Y, a schwa, so would ya, would ya. And did you might be assimilated to J and become did you, or making the you a schwa, did ya, did ya. Another typical assimilation is for the initial the in unstressed words be assimilated to one of those sounds. Let's look at the examples which make more sense, right? So on the might become on a shelf. Where is it? It's on a shelf. All the might become all the time, all the time. When do you do it? I do it all the time. What's the might become what's. So what's the matter is very frequently pronounced what's the matter, what's the matter. How's the patient might simply become how's the patient, how's the patient doing. Three typical assimilations are for these very frequent phrases, okay? So have, to, when it's used as a modal expression for obligation, the v might become voiceless because of the voicelessness of to, okay? So instead of have to, we might pronounce it as have to, I have to go. The same thing for used to, used as that modal expression for routine and repeated actions, might be pronounced as used to. And something, in very rapid connected speech, especially in some dialects of the United States, might be pronounced something. All right, so these were cases of assimilation, one sound becoming a different sound because of the neighboring segment, okay? Now we're going to see cases of elision or dissimilation or deletion, okay? It's when you delete a sound, all right? Now, the first one is with consonant clusters. When there are three consonants together, okay, the one in the middle might be deleted. So, for example, in the phrase next day, there would be a t here for next, right? And then you'd have four consonants. So the t might be deleted. The favorite consonants to be deleted are t, d, and th, okay? So next day might be pronounced next day, next day. Reached, here there would be a t for reached Paris. Three consonants, the one in the middle might be deleted, and we might say reach Paris. We actually lose the phoneme that signals the past, and it's fine because the context is going to show that it's past tense, okay? Here, left field, so three consonants, t in the middle might be deleted. And then when you have two consonants of the same, one is also deleted, right? So you don't say left field. You just go left field. The right field or the left field, okay? Within a word, it might also occur, okay? So in kindness, there would be a d here in the middle. And then you have three consonants, d in the middle, you might delete it. And then you have two n's, and then you delete one again. You end up saying kindness. Kindness, okay? Same thing that happens with sandwich, right? You don't need to pronounce the d, then you go sandwich. Look at what happens to blind man. You would have a d here for blind, and then three consonants. The one in the middle might be deleted, and then you have blind man. But then when n is before a bilabial sound, it's assimilated, right? So you end up saying blind man, and then you have two ms. You end up just deleting one, and you say blyman, blyman. Look at this one. Sixth throne. Six. Here you'd have a th and a s. You might delete both consonants to simplify it for sixth throne. Sixth throne. And then the context is going to show that it's an ordinal number, okay? More example. Months, there would be a th here in the middle, and then you have three consonants, th in the middle, it might be deleted. You end up saying months, 2 months, 4 months. Acts, there would be a t here, and then three consonants with t in the middle. The t might be deleted, and then you end up saying x. The same thing with texts. Instead of texts, right? The t here in the middle between k and s might be deleted. Look at another ed that is lost. Here you'd have carved, a d here, is statuette. And then you have four consonants. The d in the middle might be deleted. You end up saying carved statuette. East side, there would be a t here. Three consonants. The one in the middle might be deleted. And then you have two s, right? Two s sounds. Then you delete one of them as well. You end up just saying east side. West side or east side. And the same thing with postman. Postman, yeah? You'd have a t here for post. And then three consonants. T in the middle might be deleted. You end up saying postman. Okay? Things that might happen. What else? Another type of dissimilation is one that I was already talking about in the previous slides. Okay? When you have two of the same consonant, you don't need to pronounce both of them. You don't say keep practicing. Keep practicing. If you have two p's, you just delete one and you say keep practicing. You don't say meet Tim. You don't do two t's. You delete one and you just say meet Tim. Practice sailing. You don't have to say practice sailing. Practice sailing. You have two s's. You delete one. You just say practice sailing. It's on now. You don't have to say it's on now. On now. Right? Sounds weird, right? You have two n's. You delete one. You just say it's on now. Schwas might also be deleted, making words with 3 or more syllables lose one of the syllables. Okay, so police. Here there is a schwa, right? Police, right here between the p and the l. In rapid connected speech, it might be pronounced as simply please, please, please. The schwa is already very reduced, right? So you might reduce it completely in some words, like please, like forever instead of forever, forever, instead of perhaps, perhaps, instead of collective, collective, instead of tonight, just tonight, instead of vegetable, here at the end, vegetable, bull, bull, bull. Instead, here you might pronounce this word interesting, interesting, or interesting, interesting, and then you lose the schwa that would be here. Okay. And the, when it's in the beginning of these pronouns, it might also be deleted. Okay, so tell her in connected speech might become teller. Call them in connected speech might become column. Okay, the same thing for the. So out of here might simply become out of here. You get the tap, and then you lose the v, right? Out of here. Waste of time might become waste of time, and kind of is very frequently pronounced. Kind of is very frequently pronounced as kinda, kinda. Words with these two R's, okay, so February, governor, surprise, temperature, two R's. The second one, the first one might be deleted. So February might simply be pronounced as February. Governor might be pronounced as governor. Surprise as surprise. And temperature simply as temperature. You might omit the schwa and the R. Okay. All right. So we saw assimilation and elision or deletion or dissimilation. Three words for the same thing. Okay. Next one is linking, right? And there are different types of linking. The first one comes from French. In French, the liaison, and people who speak French are very familiar with this. In English, people use the word liaison, but they pronounce it liaison. So you're going to hear English-speaking people saying liaison for this, okay? So the first case is when you have a word ending in any type of high front vowel. So E, tense E, or lax E, okay? Or even a diphthong, okay? Ending in E. Plus a vowel, you add a linking Y. So here you're adding a sound, all right? Let's look at examples. I ends in E. It's the diphthong, right? Then the next word begins with a vowel, agree. So instead of I agree, if you want to connect this, you inevitably add this Y to say I agree. I agree. In slow motion, it's as if you're saying I agree. I agree. I agree. But if you want to connect, it's like inevitable to do this Y because you're coming from E to another vowel. You gotta do this linking. I agree. I am, right? It's very common to hear people say, I am, I am, I am, instead of I am. Instead of they are, they are, they are. Instead of the other, the other. Okay, so this is the first type of linking or liaison. And you see it's with high front vowel with a Y. The second one it's with a high back vowel, so tense U or lax U or a diphthong, plus a vowel will have a linking W. So go in, if you want to connect, you end up saying go in, win, go in. Who is, you end up saying who is, who is. You are, go on, go on. If you really want to connect these phrases, it's almost impossible not to include this linking vowel, all right? Now, the next linking I'm going to show applies to non-rhotic varieties of English, all right? So those varieties of English in which post-vocalic R is not pronounced, okay? So in those varieties of English, instead of saying her, German, car, people say her, German, car, okay? And this is fine, all right? This is non-rhotic variety. Now, what happens when you have her, English, Ka. Because the R that is not pronounced is followed by a vowel, then the R might be pronounced. So in non-rhotic varieties where people say huh in isolation, or when it's followed by a consonant, when it's followed by a vowel, they might end up pronouncing the R and say her English car. Her English ka. Ka, here not pronounced. Another example, my brother lives, no R, but because it's followed by a consonant. But if it's followed by a vowel, even in non-rhotic varieties, it's pronounced my brother is. My brother is. Another type of linking that occurs in some non-rhotic varieties of English is called intrusion, okay? And this intrusive R occurs when a word ends in schwa, a, or o, plus a vowel. Let's look at examples. So here we have I saw it. There is absolutely no R pronounced here. In rhotic varieties, people just say I saw it. But in some non-rhotic dialects, because saw ends in o, and the next word begins with a vowel, they might say I saw it. I saw it. Media ends with a schwa, right? Media. Exploitation begins with a vowel. Because it ends with the schwa and the next word begins with a vowel, in some non-rhotic varieties of English, people might pronounce it media rexploitation. Media rexploitation. And my favorite, law, in rhotic varieties, law and order, right? In non-rhotic varieties, because this ends in o and this begins with a vowel, they might say Laurent, but here no R's, odd, okay? All right. If you had never noticed this, start paying attention to when you watch things in non-rhotic varieties of English, and pay attention if people do it or not. Okay. All right. Another kind of linking is called juncture. Okay. Now here there is no change in sound, there is no deleted sound, and so on. It's just a characteristic of English, of the rhythm of English. Okay. Because of the rhythm of English. Sometimes when we have a word ending in a consonant and followed by a vowel, because of the rhythm of English, we might join this consonant with this vowel, okay? So in stop it, it's as if in connected speech we say something like stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. And then people might mishear this phrase and hear the word pit that is not here, right? Played on, consonant plus vowel, we tend to join this consonant with this vowel. So in connected speech, it might sound as if someone is saying played on, played on, played on, played on. Run around, consonant plus vowel. In connected speech, it might appear as people are saying run around, n-around, run around, run around. Find out in connected speech, consonant plus vowel, it might sound as if someone is saying find out. And you see, sometimes it might cause misinterpretation. Somebody might mishear this phrase find out and just hear doubt, and then try to process the sentence as if there is the word doubt in it, but there isn't. Yeah. Left arm, consonant plus vowel. We tend to join these sounds, so sometimes it might appear as if someone is saying left arm, okay? Now, here's a little explanation of this problem with comprehension, yeah? In the phrase put it on, it's somebody might mishear it and look for the word poo and then tit on, yeah? Or put it on, yeah? In fade away, somebody might hear the word fade and then try to process the sentence and not find meaning. Yeah. Here some more examples that might cause misinterpretation. So somebody might mishear the word train in the phrase might rain. Might mishear the word tapes in the phrase great tapes. Might mishear the word rice in the phrase more rice, or might mishear the word snow in the phrase "it's snow," "it's snow," or stuff in "it's tough," or so in "sick so," or may in "ma." Okay, so this is just feature, all right, that might happen. And finally, the last one, it's the easiest feature of connected speech, are contractions, which are reductions in, especially in auxiliary verbs, but sometimes also in prepositions, that became so frequent that they even have a written version. So I am is commonly pronounced I'm, and even written like this: you are, your, they have, they've, should not, shouldn't, could have, could've, is not, isn't, and some more informal ones as gonna for going to, wanna for want to, and gotta for got to. Okay, so that's it.